Hey everybody, it's Wednesday. You know what it is. It's time for me to look at comic books and talk about comic books and maybe rant about something, which we're going to do today. So I'm warning you, after the comic book review, this is going to be a little bit of a mini rant, and I think you guys will agree with me when I do this rant. But we're going to start off with DC this week. I'm not even giving them a credit of showing their logo because, frankly, they don't deserve it this week. So here we go, DC Comics, no logo. The first thing that I'm going to look at is Rojar's Before Watchmen, number 1. Disappointing. Not too shocked by that, but I was disappointed. Okay, Nightwing. Okay, not to sound mean, I think DC's quality of artwork has just gone away. It's like they're more obsessed with marketing than they are of artwork. Same goes for Birds of Prey. Disappointing issue again. Here's a bunch of characters had so much potential, and for the second time, So far, number 12s aren't looking good. Blue Beetle. Wow, what a shocker. Not. Worst cover of the week. They've gone back to doing the bad covers. The story inside still so-so. Wonder Woman 12. Yes. This Wonder Woman has nothing to do with Wonder Woman you see in the Justice League. It's like two different stories completely. Okay, something they haven't screwed up, something they're still doing relatively alright. The Green Lantern Corps. The artwork inside, relatively good. Still ongoing. The one thing they haven't really changed is the one thing that still works for DC. Same can be said for the Green Lantern. Even though I must admit, bringing back, Black Hand, kind of boring. Alright, Supergirl, artwork's okay, story was a bit, but still. Now, if you like really skinny drawings of people really skinny, Red Hood and the Outlaws, I've yet to understand why people think this is such a good book. I honestly think it's going to be on my cancellation list real soon. DC's best cover of the week. Unfortunately, it wasn't the best story from DC this week. Batwoman. Beautiful cover. Story left me kind of like, okay, she's teamed up with Wonder Woman. It's really kind of, why? Alright, Captain Atom number 12. Or as I call it this way, DC is trying to turn him into Dr. Manhattan. I will show you an example. Oh, let me see, that one page. Well, we've all seen this pose before. Yep, just got to find the right page. I should have marked it, but I'm just kind of like fed up with DC. Yep, I'm getting tired of DC comic books. What a shocker. I'm not the only one. Oh, look, it's a Dr. Manhattan type pose. Ooh. I think I preferred him when he had the silver skin, even the gold suit when he was a bit more human. Alright, best interior artwork from DC this week, and probably one of the more interesting stories, Shade number 11. It's not a number 12. Number 12, they'll probably screw it up. Like they did with Legion of Superheroes number 12. The artwork was rushed, inconsistent, and overall disappointing. DC Universe Presents, the series that was supposed to be like for new stories and so forth. Well, I felt like I bought one of those little kiddie DC books because they did a Kid Flash story starring the Dino Teen Titans. If you know what I'm talking about, the Saurians. Teen Titans, Ravagers, Kid Flash. It's like they're doing books for 10-year-olds and they expect us to think, oh, these are great stories. Not a bad story. The artwork was kind of all over the place this issue. Catwoman number 12. So that wraps up my look at DC Comics for this week. As you can tell, not a good week for DC. It seems to be an ongoing path with them. So let's look at Marvel, shall we? Marvel! Alright, Avengers, the A vs. X series. Not the best art issue-wise. Story was kind of predictable. However, A vs. X round 10 was better artwork, and it was a little bit surprising what they did with the story, so that one wasn't too bad. Avengers Academy, nice cover. I actually think it's Marvel's best cover of the week, so that's Marvel's best for the week. However, story was kind of somewhat predictable. Alright, Marvel, go back to making this the Thunderbolts or cancel the series. Dark Avengers. I'm looking forward to Marvel now. This might be dead. Alright, disappointing cover, but the story's actually not bad. Captain Marvel. The artwork, I like that kind of weird, almost painted type artwork. It actually does kind of work for me in a sort of weird way. The story was a bit interesting. She goes to this weird place where there's Japanese soldiers from 1943 and there's some female soldiers from 1943. Interesting. And last but not least for Marvel, the Red Hulk. Cancel! Cancel! Come on! Cancel it! Or get a new team on it. This mine story. So that brings us to our alternates. And to begin with, the company that relaunched a whole bunch of books that I've been surprised with, I've been enjoying. Valiant! Valiant! Harbinger 3. Once more, good read. However, it was outclassed by Valiant number 2 of Bloodshot. Buy this book. Really have to say. Another company I've been liking a lot more. IDW. Oh. Yes, The Crow number 2. I know it's not J.O. Barr, but the story's actually good and the artwork is actually fun. It's a good read. It has that kind of, you know, slightly off look to it, which makes sense for The Crow. Okay, I picked up this from Dark Horse Comic Books. Didn't know why I picked it up. Dark Horse doesn't normally do superhero books very well, but I figured, what the heck? Miniseries, 1 of 5. I actually had fun reading it. Victories. It's kind of for those of you who remember Cyber 6 animation, it kind of reminds me of that a little bit. Kind of like almost Samurai Jack-ish. It's kind of a cool animation, dark style, which is a fun story. The character itself isn't that bad. Kind of fun. Which brings me to my last comic book of this week. It's also the cover of the week. The cover just went right in the store. I went, wow, that's a nice cover. Elephant Man. Oh, beautiful cover. Just nice. It really actually works for me. The story is always good. Elephant Man is one of those comic books you haven't picked it up. Pick it up from the start. If you try jumping into it right now, you might go, wow, really good book, but who are these people? There are trades. There are back issues. If you want to get into a book that's interesting, it's not for everybody, mind you, because it does involve animal-morphic characters, but they're not like the cute ones that some people do. And that's it for this week's comic books. One more thing about RX. It's one of the places you can get some really cool collectibles. I didn't buy these for myself because it's bad luck to buy these for yourself, but basically got this for me. Yes, she picked up for me the Rio Dark Tarot card deck. There's only, I think, 2 more left of these. They're going to be going really fast. Beautiful artwork inside. You want to see the artwork inside? Go buy it. Or actually, technically speaking, have someone who likes you buy it for you. That's how you have good luck with tarot cards. Now that said, it's opinion time or rant time. As those of you know, recently Joe Kubert, the great comic book artist, writer, creator, Joe Kubert, passed away on Sunday. Now, Joe Kubert started working comic books when he was 12. He's most known for his Sergeant Raw comic book. He did Tarzan, Tor. I mean, he pretty much established Hawkman as a cool character. Now, my sympathies go off to the Kubert family, and anyone who's a fan of Kubert artwork knows exactly how I feel. And there was a big talk on Monday, was mostly how DC comic books, instead of running a decent article paying homage to Joe Kubert and his wonderful long career with them, basically ran a 1-paragraph blurb with their logo next to it, and mostly trying to plug the Before Watchmen book that Joe had just finished working on. Other companies, Dark Horse, for example, ran full articles. The Washington Post, full articles newspaper the same day. DC waited, what, about 8 hours before they finally put up a self-portrait of Joe. And even then, they were trying to take a twist and make it into a marketing tool. So my opinion is this. The new DC has lost its soul, if you want to call it this way, because for those of us who remember the old DC, DC was a comic book company you go to for the characters, you go for the continuity, the story. The new DC, it seems to be, okay, hey, you're my buddy, Jim Lee. Get me a job. I want to work for good. And DC's going, well, let's do some marketing. Let's make some money. And who really cares about anything in the past and forget our longtime readers? Let's not even respect our guys like Joe Kubert, who did everything for us over all the years. Fact of the matter is, DC hasn't even kept their own word. Oh, it's going to be a revamp, not a reboot. 6 months later, oh, we rebooted everything to make things better. we're going to give our books a shot. They cancel books left and right. So basically, as a former fan of DC comic books, the old DC, which I'm still a fan of, the new DC, not to sound mean, you could have handled the Joe Kubert passing so much better. I think most of us agree that the way you're going, your marketing really isn't working, because you were number 2 before this new 52. Yeah, you had number 1 spot for a while, but for the most part, you're still number 2. And you might drop to number 3 if you keep this up. And one last thing about Joe Kubert I want to point out. People don't realize how important Joe Kubert was. Look at this. These are all alumni of Joe Kubert School. Look at this. All these people went to the Joe Kubert School. All of them. That's how important Joe Kubert was to the comic book industry. He encouraged artists left and right to become better, and he gave back. So, for you, Joe, Sergeant Rock will always be the only real character from a war comic that actually did more than just propaganda, and that's because of you. I cherish the artwork I have of yours, I cherish your stories, and I look forward to passing on my love of your artwork to everybody else. To the Kubert family, thank you very much. Mad Montreal, man, looking forward to a day when DC gets back to its original roots and we stop getting all this marketing crap from them. See you next time.